Hello and welcome to the East Coast Experience, Episode 1. This episode I'm going to be calling the SMP industry, and I'm not going to be delving into one topic too much, but I'm just going to be going through an overview of the SMP industry from start to finish. So if you're looking to become an SMP artist, or you just started out as an SMP artist, or you're a current SMP artist, I'm going to be going through start to finish up until looking to becoming a full-time artist. And I'm also going to be giving my opinion here and there on different parts of the industry as well. So, to get this started, you're looking for a new career change and you want to become an SMP artist. Bro, I'll be the first one. I said bro, but it could be a girl or a guy who's looking for the opportunity to change. I'll be the first person to welcome you into this industry. And the first point of call for yourself is going to be looking to where to train. Where should you train SMP? Where should you learn? There's online courses now. There's YouTube tutorials now, and then there's in-person training. Now, training is going to set you back anywhere from $1,500 for an online course to $3,000 for a very short in-person course, which is a new thing that's just sort of come out. Personally, I think it's terrible. And then roughly $6,500 to $7,500 to do a 5-day in-person training. So, because this is my podcast, this is where I inject my opinion. Where should you go? Where should you train? Now, I'm not exaggerating when I say that 99% of the training in Australia is fucking terrible. It's my podcast, so I can swear as well. 99% of the training here in Australia is terrible. And does that mean that there's 1% of trainers out there that are doing a good job? No, that means that I literally only think one person at the moment is doing a good job. Now, do I know every single trainer in the whole of Australia? No. I do definitely... I am very consistent in keeping in check with all the other SMP artists and what everyone else is doing. Not to try shit on anybody, but one, to be competitive, but two, I'm just genuinely love being immersed in SMP here in Australia. And I think that the more that we check in with one another on a positive level, I think it's going to grow in a positive way. But something to take into account here with training is that it's not regulated by anybody. And what that means is that there is no quality control. So basically just anybody is doing training. And they might not have any experience with SMP. Maybe they have a little bit of experience. Or maybe they have heaps, but they actually just don't care. Now, when I say that there's only one person that I would recommend, I'm going to give a massive shout out here to Inked in Melbourne. They do training. Now, that is the only place that I would recommend for someone to go for an in-person training. Now, there's online courses as well. I don't know heaps about this. I've seen a few of them, and I've personally paid for one. The quality, the level that's at the moment isn't great, but it will save you a bunch of money. Now, when I say that Inked is the only place that I would recommend, obviously I do training as well, but I'm not going to sit here and be biased and just tell you to come and train with me because this is my episode and this is me talking here. Because I don't think that I'm at the level that Inked is at with their training either. And I think that one day I'll definitely get there, but I'm just starting out and I'm new to training. And I'm pouring everything into it and I'm trying my very, very best to ensure that if someone comes and trains with me, that they go away feeling confident to do SMP. Now, why is the training so bad? The reason that the training's so bad is that a lot of SMP is a business as well as an art and a craft. And in a lot of cases, the business side really takes over. And there isn't actually any money in doing good training. That's why I believe that there is a lot of bad training. And I'm not here complaining. I mean, I didn't have the greatest training, but at least I got a machine and a needle and a start. So my advice is that spend as little as possible. Make sure that that artist can at least do good SMP work. And just understand you're going to be left feeling like you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But as long as you've got a machine, some needles and some inks, just ensuring that as well that the person isn't an eyebrow tattooist, because they will give you eyebrow ink, eyebrow machine, and from what I've seen, terrible needles. So as long as it's all SMP related, at least you got to start. And just understand that no matter who you train with, that your training does not finish there. But yeah, that's my advice. If you're just starting out and you're thinking, hey, I'm thinking about doing a course, where do I go? Nowhere's good. Fucking nowhere, bro. Unless you live in Melbourne. I keep saying bro, but once again, if you're a girl listening to this, you can be my bro as well. But that is the only place that I would recommend. I know that there's some other there's other people that I would recommend, but they don't actually offer training at the moment. But yeah, but I also do know a bit more about what Inked is doing down there with training, and it looks really, really good from what I can see. Now, I don't know every single trainer, like I said. There could be another great trainer out there. I just haven't seen it. I haven't witnessed it. There's definitely other good artists who offer training, but I wouldn't recommend them. As you're getting into this podcast, I think you're probably realizing that there's going to be a lot of honesty in here. Yeah, so fasten your seatbelt. All right, and the next question that I get as well is when people are looking to start SMPs, how much can you earn? Now, it's such a blanket statement, and a lot of the time when people look at doing different careers and stuff like that, it's like they want to put a dollar figure to it. Now, there isn't an answer to this question, because if you're to, it really depends on who you base it off. Because there's people making nothing, then there's people making hundreds of thousands of dollars. But you got to remember that question of how much you can earn, the only way you can really answer that question is if you look at a position or a job as a hourly rate or a day rate working for somebody. When it's your own business, the sky is the limit. You can earn as much as you can. But I don't want someone to listen to that and go, I can earn as much as I can in SMP. I'm going to do SMP. No. That's the same everywhere. It doesn't matter what you do. If you are your own business and it's literally just effort, time, hours, and money. It's what you pour into it. So it doesn't really answer your question, but maybe if you went and worked for somebody, if you would maybe get an hourly rate of say $25 to $30 and maybe a commission on top of that. It's very rare that people have employees in this industry. Not many people want to employ. Or another example, you might get 50-50 on treatments, which is if you're a good artist, maybe you're making $300 to $400 a day. And if you're like if you're an alright artist, and then if you're a good artist, say maybe $500 a day. But that would, when I say a good artist, I'm talking, 1 to 2 years of practice, hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of hours of practice. So, the sky's the limit. You can earn as much as you want. But just know that that's the same across any business that you do. There's barbers that make millions of dollars. There's bricklayers that make millions of dollars. Personal trainers that make millions of dollars. So if you're to ask the question, how much can someone earn in a particular career? That's the same answer across the board. Now, I think the common misconception is that because SMP can be quite costly, $2,500 for a treatment, is that you're going to make a lot of money because that's how much a treatment is. But it's the furthest thing from the truth. There is no career that you step into and no business that you step into and you just make heaps of money. If you are looking for heaps of money, one that probably would pay off the fastest is, if you went into like cryptocurrencies or stock trading or something like that. But that's boring as fuck. So, how much can you earn? The sky's the limit, boys and girls. But what I will say is if you are looking to take on this as a career, then take it on as a career. Just SMP. Now, the reason that I say that is a lot of people think that they're going to add SMP as a service. Now, the reason why I don't think you can add it as a service, to begin with, you definitely can. But if you want to actually make anything out of this or become remotely good at SMP, you're going to have to put a lot of time and effort into it. And from the outside in, it can look quite simple, but it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to just even become remotely good. To give you an example, I've done, I think, 1,500 hours of tattooing. And I'm only just getting to the point where I'm liking my work now. And this is, nearly 2 years down the track. So, and I've been full-time for over a year and a half. And before that, it was a part-time thing, but it was never added as a service, if that makes sense. It's what I wanted to move into. So, I know the idea theoretically sounds good, to add it as a service, but even if you got good enough in your spare time to add it as a service, it's not going to be cost effective as just an added service unless you employed someone and that's all that they did, because it really does take a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of mental effort. In the beginning, when you're starting out, this is a common thing that I see is that people add it as a service and add other services. Now, a lot of the I thought about doing that as well when I first started because it's so daunting and it's quiet. And a lot of the time, it's very hard to find work. But what I would say is I implore you to just focus on SMP itself and get good at SMP because that does generate clients. So, to recap, if you're looking to add it as a service, don't. If you're doing that to begin with, that's okay. But just understand that if you do want anything to come of this, so you're looking at this as a career and you want anything to come of this, just understand that it's going to be a full-time thing. It's not going to be some part-time thing that you can do. Now, the other part to take into account when you're looking at SMP is how much money do you have, or how much money could you put towards this business? So you're looking to do SMP, thinking, geez, that looks all right. Something to take into account is that SMP as a career, unlike barbering and personal training and things like this, has a very high cost of entry. Now, what that means is that you cannot get work if you do not pay. If you do not pay for marketing, if you do not have a source of finding leads, It's not as simple as, for example, if you're a personal trainer, you go to a gym and you prospect. If you're a barber, you go into a barbershop and you get the walk-ins. And then you generate a clientele, word of mouth, referral. If you're going to get word of mouth referral in SMP, if you think you are, you're fucking mental. Because bald people don't like to talk about being bald. And guys with SMP, if they got a really good job, they'll talk about it. But in the beginning, bro, they ain't going to talk about what you're doing. So, something to take into account is if maybe you have another job, don't quit that. You don't need that money. Or maybe you have savings. Just understand that for at least a year, you're either going to go backwards or you're going to eat up all that savings or you're going to use your side hustle, even though this will be your side hustle. So your two side hustles, I don't know. I lost you there, but don't quit your job because you're going to need that money. If you think you're just going to dive on in, you are not. It's going to run you dry. It sounds like I'm trying to scare people off at the moment. I'm realizing. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit I'm going to talk positively about SMP for a second. It's fantastic. I love it. It's a great career. I'm really enjoying it at the moment. But these are just some, harsh truths that I learned the hard way. I was a barber and I stopped cutting hair, and as soon as I got like a couple of bookings, and then I tell you what happened is those bookings went away, and then I was stuck. Luckily, I had savings there that I poured back into my business. Lost those savings because of some mistakes that I made through trying to get work. Then I had to sell my car and then use that money. And thank fuck I found New Way Business Development, or my mate Levi who runs New Way. And then I had bookings after that. But that took well over a year to actually have a full-time wage. Right, so back on track. So another thing I would say as well is if you're looking to do it, go and watch it being done. Ask if you can, they're obviously not going to do this for free, but ask if you can have a play around with the gun. With the machine, sorry. I'm not meant to call it a gun. Ask if you can use the machine. Do some dots. Check it out. You want to try and get a feel for SMP without copping out that $6,000. You want to see if you really want to try taste it as best you can, because there's a big chance you might not like it, and there's obviously that chance that you will. I think the biggest mistake people make, and it sounds like I'm talking people out of business, well, I'm talking me out of business too because I'm offering training, is that they dive on in and think that because they've dedicated that money, that means that they're going to be dedicated to it. Look at it from a logical standpoint, not an emotional one. And look at the realistic side, not the dream side. I see some artists and they sell it as like $200,000 a year, and they just feed into whatever the student needs to believe to get them in there. They just feed you full of bullshit, is basically what I'm saying. So be careful of that. And just understand that when you're looking for training, these guys aren't trainers out to help you. They're trying to take your money. That's it. Because the reason that this happened as well is because these guys who are offering training don't want to create competition. They want to make money off of training. And the reason that they do this the way that they set it up is they do a big class, as many people as they can fit in the shortest amount of time, and give you the smallest amount of information so that you fail and they still get paid. Then you'll sort of notice post-training that there's not as much follow-up and not as much care. Yeah, they don't want you in the industry, bro. They want the industry. They want to make the money. They don't want you to. And I'm not saying that I agree with this, because I fucking don't. I think that if you're going to offer training, it's because you actually enjoy training and you care about SMP. But that's the harsh reality of it, is that when you're going out there, they're trying to sell you. There's no certificate. There's no, they're just trying to sell you so they can make money. They're not trying to create you as a good artist. And if that breaks your heart, I'm sorry. But that's the truth. Now, so you've just finished your course. So, all right, so that segment just there was looking to do SMP. And I hope that was helpful to someone. I know I ranted a lot in there, but I'll try and recap that quickly. Is understand that they're just trying to take your money. You should try and watch it or try it before you buy it, and not to get discouraged after your training. As long as you get the inks, the needles, and the machine, you got to start. And this is where all of us had to start, really. Now, so you've just finished your course. You're standing there. So that was me talking about looking to become an SMP artist. Right, now I'm talking to the people who have just started their course or just finished their course. Congratulations. You just got a little piece of paper that your trainer printed and called it a certificate and then laminated. And it means fuck all. Sorry, I'm going to throw the humor in there as well. Otherwise, it seems like I'm just being angry. So you finish the course, you're standing there. I don't know, maybe your model needs laser. Fuck, that sucks, man. I see that all the time. And it's terrible. I wish I could change it, but you can't. It's the end of the day. This is the harsh truth of SMP, right? So you finish your course, you're standing there, and you're thinking, why is this guy not helping me become an SMP artist? Because he doesn't want you to. Right, so it's just you. You got this. Now, I know you just wasted your money. Don't try to get it back. There's no way you can. The first question is, how do you know the SMP's for you? So you're sitting there. How can you be sure that this is something that you want to do? Now, the way I'm going to explain this is I'm going to share a little story. I spoke to an artist just recently, and I won't say his name. He's a fucking legend. And he was telling me that, he's thinking about putting SMP on hold for a little bit. And I was just like, why? Like, he's a good artist, he does good work, and he was just starting to get some traction. And the reason that he wanted to put it on pause is because he was getting very worried about the treatments that he was doing, and, it was stressing him out. He was laying up, having sleepless nights because he was so worried about the treatments that he was giving. And they aren't bad, but he wanted to do just such a good job, and he cared so much that it was eating him up. And I fucking 100% relate to this. Now, where am I going with this? How do you know if SMP is going to be for you? It's if you actually care. It's if you actually care about the result. Sure, there's a part of it, should you care about the person? Of course, care about the person. And, it's a great feeling when you give someone a hairline. That's true, but I feel like that wears off. And if you really care about your client, you want to be a fucking SMP athlete. You want to be a master, a craftsman, an artist. And the way that you do that is by caring whether the work turns out good or bad. Now, so many artists I see do 2 sessions and that's it. Just fucking kick them out the door. I'd never get it done in 2. I maybe have done it once or twice, but it's always that third. But when you're starting out, when I was starting out, I would do 4, 5, 6. I'd do as many sessions until it was finished. And I wouldn't be able to sleep until that treatment looked good. So how do you know if it's for you? If you care about the end product and you want to keep learning, you're just obsessed about how do I make that look good? Because in the beginning, it looks crap. Everyone's looks crap. But it's just that little obsession to make it look good. And if you don't have that, if you don't care, if you're just thinking, how do I make money out of this? Fuck off. Because you're not going to feel fulfilled with this industry. You can make money anywhere, bro. Just go and make money somewhere else. Just because this is a hairline. This is a tattoo on someone's head. It's serious. So how do you know if it's for you? It's if you care. If you care about the art and perfecting it and making it look good for your client. You care about the results. So if that's you, what's up, bro? Welcome. So if you're not feeling that sort of way, if you're not sitting there thinking, I want to improve this and I really want to get good at it, then it's probably not for you. And it's not that I'm trying to discourage, people who just want to make money. Fuck, do that as well. Like, that's cool if you want to just make money. But you're not going to feel much fulfillment out of it if you're not trying to progress and do a good job and care about the actual process of doing SMP. Because it can look flashy on the outside, but realistically, my days are spent 8, 9 hours. Sometimes I do a half day, which is 4, 6 hours of just doing dots. So I'm staring at someone's head and I'm just, every single dot I'm trying to make better than the last dot. And then the next dot after that. And just concentrating on that for hours on end. It's not that fancy. But if you don't like doing that, then you're not going to enjoy SMP. And if you've gone, I've said this before in an Instagram post, but if you've gone 48 hours and you haven't done a dot or you haven't practiced, this is a real good sign that you don't want to be here. And you shouldn't be here. And I'm sorry, but you shouldn't, because you want to be practicing because it matters. And, if this was any other career where you were stacking shelves or something and it doesn't actually affect someone's livelihood, and livelihood's not the right word, but someone's health, mental health and physical health, because if you do a bad job, someone's going to get laser. And maybe for a lot of people, they wouldn't care about that. But for a lot of people, that's traumatic, man. So if you're not practicing avidly and then you're just going to willy-nilly go and tattoo someone's head because you want a cool part-time job that makes you $2,000 a month, first of all, you're not going to get the $2,000. And second of all, don't do that. Right. So just finished your course. So you made it through. Congratulations. And you're thinking to yourself after listening to me rant, this is for me. I care about this. Now, what I will say is 2 things. You want to make this full time. You want to go full time with this. Fuck yeah, let's do it then. 2 top tips that I'll give with that. And I'm not going to delve too far into this. I probably could do a whole podcast just talking about this, but I want to get through this. Is work on your craft relentlessly, like I was just talking about. Do free treatments if you have to. Just understand that your treatment right now, yeah, I know that your trainers told you to charge $3,000 or $2,000, but you ain't worth it. Sorry. If you can get $3,000, do it, but you're not going to be able to do it because your work's not good enough. Sorry. But it's the truth. You're worth $0 right now. So, do treatments for free. build your portfolio and keep working on your craft. Free, $1. If someone will pay you $1, then $2, $50, then $100, then $200, and grow it. And the more, you're only worth how much someone will pay you. I learned that when I very first started, and it really, really helped. Then after that, so you worked on your craft, you got some before and afters. Every single dollar that you have, sell your PlayStation, your socks, your shoes that you don't wear, I don't know. Put all that money into marketing. I'm going to do a whole podcast on marketing and stuff like that. And I also have a YouTube video about marketing. And also you can ask me questions if you want, because I'm happy to help other SMP artists. And I feel like I've only shouted out one SMP artist in this whole thing with the training. There is a lot of good artists out there as well. But another thing so now we're getting on, so we're past the point of you were looking, you did your course, then you decided that you want to be an SMP artist. So marketing, work on your craft. Just keep working at it. If you do good work and you spend money on marketing, you will get work. But understand, you're going to make nothing for at least 12 months. Close your eyes. Work. 12 months later, you'll be there. Now, that's what I did. That's how quick I got there. Not everybody does, but it's how much time you can put into it. So if you can put 40 hours a week for a year, and you keep working on your craft, and you keep pumping that marketing, you'll be there after 12 months. If you've only got 20 hours a week, you're looking at 2 years. And then you'll have a full-time career that pays your wage. You're not going to have heaps of money, but if you to view your business as like a hungry little gremlin that eats money, yeah, that pretty well sums it up. All right, now current SMP artists, my people, what's up? Something I want to talk about with everybody that is a current artist is there is this thing called healthy competition. And I think that at the moment with SMP, there's a lot of unhealthy competition. I think there's a lot of nastiness and spitefulness going back and forth. We should stop that. So simple. Like, I think that the only problem that I have with SMP is that it is such a solo thing. You are tattooing a client at that point in time when you're sitting there in your studio. But a lot of the time, you know, I'm in a studio by myself tattooing day in, day out. And then when you go online, there's only a small community of SMP artists that really get together and talk to one another. And those artists are great. And I love that. And it's awesome. But I just feel like there needs to be more of it. And the reason I use the words healthy competition is because we can be in competition with each other and not be spiteful. Like, I've, you know, Pro Micro, Yana and Shannon are just amazing artists. But like I said from the beginning, like I want to be as good as you guys. I don't want them to be out of business. Like, I've helped them out heaps, and I love them. I keep on helping them out. Same with Anna in Melbourne. You know, she's an amazing artist, amazing business. But yo, Anna, like I want to compete with her. I want to be as big and as good as her, as good as artist as her, as good as a business person as her, and I want to strive to be like that. That doesn't mean I want her to do bad. And this is the problem that I have, is that artists will want other artists to do badly, thinking that that's actually helping them. It's fucking not. It's fucking not at all. The thing that probably is hurting the industry is all these fresh starters who have shit training, because they're charging fuck all and they're wrecking heads. You got to think about this. Every single head that gets wrecked and has a bad experience, that person is going to tell all their family and friends about that bad experience. You give someone a good experience with SMP. Let's say they tell their missus and a couple of friends. Sometimes they don't even tell anybody. So you got a positive experience networking to maybe 3 or 4 people. A negative one, that's going everywhere. And that's bringing down the total of SMP across the industry. And personally, I think that's why there's only a handful of people here in Australia that are really doing a good job. There's probably under 10, probably even probably 5 good artists here in Australia. Think about that. Whole population. 5 good artists. And there's probably, 2 or 3 actual big companies that, and this is just obviously from what I've seen, you got SMP Oz, Polysim, and Inked. Those are the 3 biggest actual businesses. And let's just address the fact, lads, where are yous? The girls are dominating. Look, obviously, there's Shannon from Promicro. He does a great job. He does awesome work. SMP, oh God, what's he? One down in Sydney, Scalp Oz or something. But he uses, I forget the guy's name. Actually, I don't actually know his name, but we just talk on Instagram. But he does awesome work as well. He uses one of those ink rigs. Shout out to the bro if he's watching. Not that I think anyone's even going to be watching this. I'm just sitting in my room talking to myself. But, he does good work as well. But, how crazy is that when you think about an industry, right? You think about any industry. How many good personal trainers are there? How many good barbers are there? How many good athletes are there for Australia? We have 5 good SMP artists. We need to pull our finger out, people. And I talk about competing. And, I've found those couple of people that I compete with and that I try and strive to be like. But it's pretty sad that I can only name 2 of them. Yana Promicro does amazing work. Shannon does amazing work. Ink does amazing work. There's Lux. Shout out to Lux. He does some good work. I did do a touch up from a Caitlin James SMP treatment. That looked good. Shout out to her. Everyone else, man, where are we? What are we doing? And it sounds like I don't want this to sound negative, but I want this to be a positive message as well. Let's bring this up. Let's keep pushing and get away from just hating on people. As soon as the problem is as soon as somebody actually makes it in SMP, it's everyone wants to bring them down. It's they're taking away food from you. No, bro, you're just a bitch. And I'm not saying that to anyone in particular, but a lot of struggling artists, when I talk to them, they'll blame it on, if you're on the Gold Coast, it's either, me or Promicro or another artist. That's why they're not doing well. And if you're in Melbourne, people will be like, oh, everyone goes to Lux or everyone goes to Inked. Man, you got a huge population down there. Just don't blame other people. And just because you guys aren't doing well, don't get narky and don't get spiteful. Let's help each other. Let's what I would like is a lot more of a community style. These expos that Americans and Europeans and all that are doing, they're fucking awesome. How cool is that? I don't know about you guys, but I like being able to talk SMP with people. So I actually wrote something down here. Don't be butthurt. Yeah. So that's my message to current SMP artists is instead of fighting for scraps, let's think about long term. Spread the love. Keep helping one another. And I want to leave with this message too, is that SMP is in such an early stage. And the things that we all do now are going to benefit us and the industry in years to come. I don't know if any of you artists, and I'm talking to artists right now, and even if you're looking to do SMP, I don't know if you guys have thought what 5 years looks like. 5 years looks good. You look at what America's doing, it's crazy. And this is why I say healthy competition and helping each other out. If I help out that artist, and let's say that artist tattoos a Chris Hemsworth. He's got heaps of hair, let's say. But let's say that, he loses his hair. That person might know someone who knows him. They put him onto an SMP treatment. He gets it done. That's beneficial to all of us. You might not be the one that gets the Chris Hemsworth treatment, but it benefits all of us because that hasn't happened yet. And I think about that stuff is that spotlight hasn't really been shone onto it. You think about our mainstream news. I don't really watch it, right? But like Today's Show, all those sort of shows, we haven't had any big names go on there and talk about SMP. SMP is not really getting talked about. Think about when it is. And if you're a current artist at the moment, what I want you to think about is how many times you get someone in who they've only just found out about it. How common is that? That happens all the time. Literally, think about this. How many of you know what a tattoo is? Like a generic tattoo, like you get on your arms or legs. Everyone. How many of you know about getting a haircut? Everyone. How many people know that girls get their eyebrows tattooed? Everyone. This is my point, is that nobody knows about this. And the way that they do is by us doing good work, working together to make this thing massive. I called this episode the SMP industry because I want us all to fucking make this thing massive. And if you are going to try and bring that down, do your thing. But really, fuck you. But anyone who is starting out, you can message me and I'll help you out. I help out artists all the time. And I'm not looking for any praise for that. But that's what happened when I started, is that I messaged artists. I messaged Taylor Perry, Tony A, Picasso, Anna from Inked, Yana. Well, Yana was in my studio, and Shannon from Pro Micro, and all these people helped me out when I was first struggling. So be that person. I know that the struggle is hard to begin with, and maybe you think no one fucking helped me, so why should I help anyone else? That's the wrong mindset, because it's not just tarnishing that person and your relationship with that person, but it's tarnishing the future of this industry. Now, I hope that episode was helpful. Let's build this thing up. Let's get some Australian expos, some all sorts of shit happening. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. If you're looking to become an SMP artist, I hope that you found some value there. And if you come into this industry, please handle it with care and give it your all, and understand that this is not just cosmetic tattoo. It's not just doing dots. It's a craft. It's an art form. And if you just finished your course and you're thinking, fuck, where's all my money? That was bullshit. I understand. We all went through that. But don't give up. If you care about the treatment and you care about getting good, you will. And to my current SMP artists, let's just keep spreading that information, helping each other out. I know there's hard when you can't pay the fucking bills, and it's easy for me to say. I haven't got kids, and I don't have anyone to support here. I do have a little puppy. I've got to feed him. But just look at these artists in America, and not to feel narky towards them, but to feel inspired that that's where we can be. It's not only a couple of years off. But you think, apprenticeship to do a trade is like 4 years. If we wait 4 years with SMP at the moment, and the good artists keep turning up, it's going to be huge. It's going to be massive. You think like if one of us gets like a rapper or or someone famous and they shout it out, that's all it takes. Anyway, I think I got out everything that I wanted to say there. I hope that you guys liked the episode. And once again, I think there's about 3 people listening. And they're probably my close friends. So shout out to you guys. I love you guys. And I hope that someone got some value from that. Thank you for watching. Peace.